I'm like, yeah, it's time to grow up. I need to be a grown-up. I went and got another job, and I was like, yeah, fuck this grown-up shit. I can't work for anybody else, man. When we bought it, it wasn't allowed on pay-per-view. Porn was on pay-per-view, but the UFC was not. Yeah. That was the mountain that we had to climb. So they put up the fucking $10 million for the first season. Then we get on, and the fucking thing goes like this. I wouldn't say that I was always ambitious. When I was a kid, I was your typical kid. I got in a lot of trouble and, all that kind of, as I got older, I had a hardcore upbringing, My mother used to tell me that I was gonna be just like my father and not amount to anything and things like that. And I was gonna be pumping gas into my friends' cars. My mom did a lot of shit like that. And I'm not saying that that's what drove me, but that didn't hurt, you know what I mean? But the one thing that I can always say that I was very lucky is I always knew what I wanted to do. I think if you look at most people right now, like if you went to any college campus anywhere in the world and asked these kids, what's your major and what do you want to do for the rest of your life? They'd be like, well, I'm taking political science, but I think I'm going to switch to this and that. They don't know. They're going to college because they were told that if they didn't go to college, they'd never get a good job, they'd never get this, they'd never get that. So these kids come out of college with an education that most of them don't use. If you know what you want to do, you wake up every day and you work toward that goal.
How do you find it? Do you know it early? Do you try a lot of things until you find something?
Yeah. So, typical young guy, you end up, you have to get a job, you have to make money, and you have to do stuff like that. So, I had a job. I say it all the time. There's this company in Wakefield, Massachusetts called EJ Paving, and I did some paving early on in my life. Mm-hmm. That's real work. Yeah. That's a real fucking job. Like I was like 17, 18 years old. I felt like I had one foot in the grave working that job.
Sure.
And I knew I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. You find out what hard work really is. Then I worked in the hotel business and, I had a couple of jobs. The one thing that I realized young is I didn't want to work for anybody else. I wanted to work for myself. So I knew that you have to become an entrepreneur and you have to start your own business. Yeah. And I knew I wanted to be in the fight business. I didn't care what aspect of it was. And I also knew that I was young enough that if things didn't work out, I could always go back and pave roads and be a bellman at a hotel and things like that. That job was always going to be available. Yeah. So I took all the risks at a young age. If you don't take risks, you will never succeed, ever.
And at that time, it sounds like almost nobody believed in you.
Yeah, I think that when, if you look at the landscape at that time and you say, I want to be in the fight business. First of all, what the f does that even mean? What does being in the fight business mean? And how's there money in that? And, it wasn't just like wasn't what people considered a normal job. Mm-hmm. And listen, there was a point in time in my life when I was 26 years old. And when I was 26, I proposed to my wife and I was getting married and, then you're getting married, then you start doing all the shit like, fuck, when do I need to grow up now? And, I want to be in the fight business and, I'm going to have a wife and I'm probably going to have kids soon. And then you start getting sucked into all the things that people put in your head. Yeah. 401k, health insurance, retirement and all this other stuff. And, real testament to my wife. She was like, fucking go for it. Yeah. Do what it is you want to do. Because at one point when we got married, I went back and got a job again. I'm like, it's time to grow up. I need to be a grown up. I went and got another job and I was like, fuck this grown up shit. I can't work for anybody else, man. I'm going back. So I was involved in boxing. Then I had boxing gyms in Vegas and I went out and cut these deals and built these gyms, teach people how to box, whether it was businessmen, fighters, or whatever. The Fertitta brothers own Station Casinos in Las Vegas, which is the 4th largest gaming company in the country. And Lorenzo and I had always said we were going to do something together in boxing. And I was managing Chuck and Tito, and I was talking to the old owner, Bob Meyerowitz, who was out of New York. And we got into this contract battle over Tito Ortiz's contract. And I was talking about pay-per-view, and he flipped out. He says, there is no fucking pay-per-view. There's no money. This thing's, blah, blah, blah. And he freaks out, and I was like, holy shit, this thing's in trouble. So I literally hung up. The Fertitta brothers were in Florida. I called them and said, I think the UFC's in trouble. I think they're going out of business, and I think we can buy it, and I think we should buy it. That was literally, the rest is history. I think we had like 11 guys under contract. Yeah. There's over 600 fighters under contract now. There was 11 at the time.
Next, was it like, okay, we bought this thing. What the hell are we gonna do? We need to get it back on TV. We need to get it cleaned up. We need to get it not so barbaric. Like, was that?
So we bought this company, and our goal was, because we always believed we had to get this onto free television for it to really take off, because we believed that people would love this sport that we were in love with as much as we did, right? We just had to get out there and present it the right way and get it on television. Now, when we bought it, it wasn't allowed on pay-per-view. You as a grown adult didn't have the option to buy this thing on pay-per-view. Porn was on pay-per-view, but the UFC was not. That was the mountain that we had to climb. We were gonna invest the last $10 million into The Ultimate Fighter. And again, that's all a gut, you know. Your business gut said, fucking let's do it. Everything is in a gut. I don't care what you do. Anybody who does anything fucking great goes off their gut and what they're feeling and what they think they should do. I didn't go to Ivy League schools, and I didn't go to any of this stuff, but I've spent my whole life learning about focusing on the fight business. And, you know, I always thought that I know what fans want. I know what fans want to see. I know the fights that need to be made. I've been really good at finding young, up-and-coming talent. So when you put those two things together, you know, the Fertittas and me, it was a home run. So they put up the $10 million for the first season. Then we get on, and the thing goes like this.
So you bought this thing for $2 million. You went through all of this madness, sunk countless millions into it. The day you sign a $4 billion deal, does it feel at that, is there any sense of, I made it?
You don't ever feel like you made it. There's still so much more work to do and so many things to be done, achievements. I mean, since we got on ESPN, this business is going like this. We haven't even got close to where this thing is gonna be in the next 5 years. And when we sold, it was a completely different feeling for me. Yeah, you're getting a big fat check. I ain't gonna be worrying about paying the fucking light bill and, you know, my car payment, shit like that. But I was losing what I really did. What I was doing was working with my friends every day. That was going away. But I think the reality is that I love it so much, I can't imagine not doing it. I think I would be a miserable human being if I wasn't doing it.